Hey everyone, it's Trav here. The first video of the build. This is just a bit of an instructional sort of video on front forks, and just a few bits and pieces. So if you've got a bike and you're doing your front forks and you want to know what you've got, or you had some questions about a few things, I'll try and answer it now. And just before I start, overwhelmed with the response we got last night from the first video. Everyone, has been so supportive. People that are keen to watch this, they're going to build similar parts of a build or just starting a build at the same time. It'd be fun to do it all together. So I'll get cracking into this. Keep these videos short. Don't want to bore everyone. So this is your typical earlier spring for the CT110. It's rounded here. The ladder model square there, so that's probably the most noticeable difference. This has a nut here, a bolt draining oil. The later ones have that, but it doesn't actually have a bolt in it. So the other difference is that the springs are on the outside on the earlier model. They have this set up. They have a rubber boot that goes down over the top. That's upside down. The longer part here goes on the bottom and hooks up over here. The shorter part here hooks up under the bottom of this collar. Why am I pulling apart? There's a sleeve in here. So if you've got a set of forks that are in bits, this is how it goes. That sleeve goes on the top, inside there, spring, and then the bottom of the spring has this. And this sits on top of where the seal is. It doesn't sit down on the seal, it sits on top. Holds the spring in place, and this helps it slide up and down without basically moving around too much. I have seen some guys that have done these and not put the boot on. I think it looks pretty cool myself. If you're doing a build and you want an oldest cafe style postie or something like that, that might be an option. I don't know how it goes with dust getting in the seals and moisture and stuff, but if you keep it clean and you're not going through the mud all the time, I think you'd be fine. So that's an option. If your boots are all torn up, you can throw them off and clean up this. If you do have some forks and you think about doing some seals on them, just take note for any damage. And now the damage is only really from this area down. So whatever goes all the way down, compress it all the way down. There'll be a mark like on this one from the oil, or mark it with your finger, or liquid nails or something like that. Liquid paper, just something to mark it so you can see how far it goes. As long as that area that slides up and down doesn't got any defects on it, should be right to build. This one has got a defect. It's got, you can see here, try and get that light right. That is a rough area that's been corroded, and it's actually gone through the chrome plating. It's made that rough. So if I was to put a seal in this one, it wouldn't last long at all, because this would just chew out the inside of the seal. So you just make sure that you have that. On this later model fork, same thing. This is why these two are laying around. Here I've done one with the liquid paper, marked it. It's got some pitting on that section, so, and that is within that area, and that will again chew out that seal pretty quickly. So these aren't to be rebuilt. I've got some more there that we'll be rebuilding for the charity bike, and I'll go through that with you when I do the seals and how to rebuild that, and I'll probably touch on the rebuild or replacing seals on the later model as well. On the later model, which is in my hand, as well as the earlier model, just the differences. I'm pretty sure that in '99 they went to this fork, and before that they had this style fork. So if you've got a 6-volt postie, you're pretty much guaranteed that's going to have that. You can fit a later model fork onto an earlier model bike. I've done it on a couple of mine. I find they're a better fork, obviously a lot newer. They feel stiffer to me, better suspension, which is important on a bike. The only thing I really had to change was where the boot met the bottom of the triple grip, or what you call it, where the triple grip is, the steering head. You got this little guy sits on the spring. On the other ones, the boot is smaller, and it actually has a special clamp that goes around here, and that clip is different from the earlier models to the later models. So that is an early model one. I haven't got a later model to show you, but basically, if you are changing that over, you might need to look at getting some later model ones with the forks that you have. Yeah, I think that covers just a basic rundown on which forks are which. I'll do in the next video, which I'll be doing shortly, will be removing the forks from the bike, which is part of our charity bike build. Is we've got to strip the bike down, getting it ready for paint. So forks are pretty easy to remove, but I'll just run you through it and see how we go. Cheers for watching. I hope you're still enjoying it, and look forward to doing some more and getting this bike on and raise some money.